beware of false prophets, for they will come at you in sheep's clothing, but inside they're ravenous wolves.
I want people to think about what they believe. I want them to consider if everything they've been taught, if that's what they want to believe or that's what they've been told that they have to believe.
Catholicism is most fundamentally an encounter with a person, an encounter with the risen Lord Jesus. And we encounter him in two ways primarily, through word, through the Holy Scriptures, and through sacrament.
I think the Catholic faith is, like in two words, maybe like love and truth.
It's a way for people to move along with life without questioning everything about them and having someone to guide them from above.
As Bishop Fulton Sheen once said, there's not 100 people in the United States who hate the Catholic Church, but there are perhaps millions who hate what they think the Catholic Church is.
We will no longer be oppressed by the fascism of Christianity.
I think a common misconception about Catholicism is that it's simply a set of rules. It's simply an ethical system of do's and don'ts.
That the Catholic Church is overbearing, is patriarchal, is this tyrannical system that only makes demands of people and of society that are unsustainable and unlivable.
Pope Benedict, our Pope Emeritus, spoke beautifully about this error a number of years ago, and he said Catholicism is most fundamentally an encounter with a person, an encounter with the risen Lord Jesus.
While there are many failings and even blinding failings that are being exposed in recent years, there are more than an overwhelming amount of evidence for the force for good that the Catholic Church is in the world today.
I think the issue of false teaching is a huge problem. It's a problem for people that identify as Catholic and also people outside of the Church.
If you want to blame rock music for things, think about what the Bible's done. What about Heaven's Gate or Jim Jones or the Ku Klux Klan? Right. What they do in the name of Christ.
They totally define.
False teaching seeks to divide more than anything else. And so that false teaching creates polarization between people that doesn't allow dialogue.
I think there are sometimes very extreme counter witnesses, both in history and then that I have encountered in my own personal life. And yes, it definitely makes it very, very hard to separate out Catholicism from the people.
I think the media often conveys false teachings through this problem of reductionism, taking fragments of the truth, portraying them as the complete picture, maybe distorting those fragments, and certainly not portraying the fullness of what the Church teaches and why the Church teaches it.
I think that the media encourages false teachings about the Catholic Church by misconstruing it and by characterizing it. So misconstruing has that idea of purposefully portraying whatever the object is in a negative light. And I think that certainly happens in the case of modern media. But characterization is the kind of like cheap effort that doesn't really try and investigate what the Church is, but rather stops at a very simple characterization that is easy straw man for people to attack and tear down.
The teachings of the Church call us to greatness, not to mediocrity, not to some lowness, but to greatness.
It's important to know that like we all sin. So like even like if the leaders of the Church like fall or like they do something like wrong, it's important to know that like we do that too.
So I think if Catholics can become more in touch with the Catechism, with of course the Holy Scriptures, and grow in their life of prayer, their active participation in the sacramental life of the Church, this is the way forward, so that Catholics can confidently proclaim the teachings of Christ.
The truth will set you free, and that truth is present to those who ask, who seek, who knock, and who go looking for it.